There's some disturbance. Can everyone put on mute? Okay, let's start. Okay. So friends, thank you for joining. I hope everyone can hear me and see me as well. This has been, this topic has been very close to me, and ever since I attended one session from Ravi Dharamshi 1 month back. Okay, so I thought of conducting this session for my friends, my clients, whosoever I know. Okay, so this has been a very, very, very important topic if you want to make money in stock market. So there have been a lot of queries I've been getting last 6 to 8 months that there is a bubble in the market, whether we should be selling our holdings, we should be getting out. A lot of new clients who've been I'm interacting, they have already sold a lot of their portfolios. Okay, and they're sitting on cash. So a lot of people don't understand the market cycle. Okay, so it is very important to understand the market cycle in order to make money in market. Okay, so I thought of conducting one sessions to people whom I know, and this will benefit a lot to them. There will be a lot of data. There are around 60 slides in this presentation, so I'll be running little quick because we need to digest all the you need to see all the slides as well, because every slide data is very important. Okay, so before this, a disclaimer that this is not a I'm not going to do any investing advice right now. So don't expect anything from don't infer anything from this that I'm suggesting anything. You need to contact your financial advisor to make decisions on investment. This is basically, I'll just showing you the data to be, you guys would be able to get the, to understand what is the market cycle, where we are, and should be able to take a better decision on the investments. Okay. So credit to, as I said, I went to Ravi Dharamshi's presentation. So all credit to him. The presentations I have taken from his slide. All the credit should go to him. The data and everything he has gathered for his presentation. So I've been using it. So all credit for presentation goes to Ravi Dharamshi of ValueQuest. Okay. So you can follow him on Twitter, and he's a great thinker. So I have get to learn a lot from him. So you guys would also learn from him. Okay. So this disclaimer is done. Before starting the presentation, I would like to run one poll. Okay. So I'm launching one poll. Please select yes or no. So basically, this is a question that whether you think there is a bubble in Indian market. Do you think that we are overvalued, or you think we should be getting out of, or you think we are undervalued, we should be investing a lot? Okay. So this is anonymous poll. So I would appreciate that everyone should. So there are 7 odd people left to vote. 4 more to go. Okay, so 5 seconds, I'll be ending the poll. Okay, so the result says that 57% of people here think that there is no bubble in the market. It's good time to invest. There are 43% people think that there is a bubble in Indian market. So yeah, so let's go through data and we'll come back to this poll again. Okay. So this statement you must have heard. That bull markets are born on pessimism, grow on skepticism, mature on optimism, and die on euphoria. So this is a statement which was true 100 years back, which was true 50 years back, which would true now, and this will be true forever. Okay. So the bull market only dies on euphoria. Okay. So what happened last year, March 2020? There was no euphoria. The bull market died. It was truncated in between due to COVID, and then after that, what happened? We all know that it again went back to the same level. It again market started for where it ended. Okay. So even if you try to stop the bull market in between, it will not end until it will reach the euphoria phase. Okay, so it has to go through all the phases of their cycle to end. Okay. So throughout this slides, we will just try to fit the statement in all the slides. We are going to infer where we are in this statement. So where we fit in this statement. Okay. Okay. So a little bit of macros. We are seeing that there are a lot of bubble growing up in US market, like Tesla. We have seen like that company has the price has gone up by 10, 20 times in within 6 months. Okay. Similar with the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin has been like going up 30, 40, 50, 50% every day, and it's falling also 20, 30% of time. SPAC and SaaS. SaaS is basically software as a service. So all NASDAQ companies. SPAC is basically a private equity investment. So someone wants to invest in private equity, SPAC is the way to invest. So there is a huge bubble building up in US. Okay, so this is I'm talking about the global macro. So if you see the Bitcoin, it has surpassed a lot of stuff, a lot of indexes, and it has if you see the growth how it has gone up. Okay, so no one understands the valuation of Bitcoin, but everybody is buying because the prices are going up. Okay, so this is a normal scenario. What happens when normal feature would you say what happens when there is a bubble? Okay, no one thinks why you should buy it, but everybody is buying, so we'll buy. Okay, so we are, I don't know, people are aware of what happened with the GameStop. GameStop is a loss-making company. It went from $4, $5 to like $400. Okay, price of a share 350, 400, just because Reddit users, they have gathered together, they want to fight against the big hedge funds. Okay, so this is not the basis of investment. Okay, the investment basis should be based on the company profile, their profitability, their future cash flows, there are a lot of other stuff, but not because we want to take revenge and we should buy it. So this is what happening in US markets. This is market cap to GD, the market cap, what it is being. So it is market cap is going very high in US. Okay, as this is a basically a technology index of Goldman Sachs. So this is consist of all the FANG stocks, Google, Amazon's and all. So this you can see how steep rise it is. The aspect what I discussed about the private equity, how steep it has gone. Okay. This is again the valuations of the other 500 companies in a S&P. You see that it has it is touching all-time high. Okay, after the valuation just peaking 1929, just touching 1929 peak. Okay, so this is a Buffett indicator. What does Buffett indicator says that market cap to GDP has to be a particular range. So that has gone way beyond what it has ever gone. So it's a all-time high. Okay, so market cap it consists of all the values of all the company shares. Okay, and then GDP is actual the GDP of a US. So when the share prices increases, the market cap of all the companies is increases. So that value has gone so high that has never been in the past. Okay. So this is I'm talking about the global macros, what is happening there. And there was an investor called Jeremy Grantham who predicted the bubble of technology bubble in 1999 2000. Okay, he was the one who successfully predicted. But after that, what has happened? He has been predicting bubbles since long. I mean, in 2010 he said there is a bubble. 2011 he said that stocks should fall. 2012, 2013. So no, it's not that Jeremy Grantham. There are many investors, many uh, uh, um, economists and all. They have been predicting a crash. Okay, but no one will ever be able to predict this crash or maybe bubble consistently for all the time. Okay, they may once or twice be lucky, but it's very difficult, or it's all, I would say it's impossible to predict the bubble and the crash. Okay, so you may reasonably predict the start of a bull market, but end of the bull market it's almost impossible consistently. Okay, so here comes the question: are we there yet? So are we in a bubble phase where now we are just about to burst and then everything will crash? So this statement is taken from the movie Shrek. Okay, so the donkey keeps saying that, are we there yet? So are we there yet in a bubble and ready to burst? Okay, so let's analyze that in again next slide. So I'll be fast in this slide. Basically, this is comparing the Bitcoin bubble. So there was a tulip bubble and Mississippi bubble, which happened like with last 200, 300 years. And Bitcoin is in the third category. It has gone. It is almost touching the going to touch the second most bubble ever created. Okay, so this is happening with the Bitcoin. Uh, so so there was the poll done, okay, to understand uh, what people think about the market, and 30%, 37%, and 52, almost 90% of people think that there is a bubble in the market. This is a global data, not Indian related. So they think that there is a bubble in the market, but when this bubble will end, no one knows. Okay, so whether to set out and wait for bubble to burst, or you have to be there in the market, no one knows. Okay, so if you see 2003 to 2007, there were people saying that when the index was 3000, people were saying that when index went to 4, 5, 10,000, there is a bubble, there is a bubble. But when index went, everyone knows that index went to 21,000. Okay, so to predict early bubble and get out of the market, it can be a very harmful and very dangerous for your long-term investment. So US tech and US Bitcoin valuation, you can see how high have they have gone. Okay, so COVID, people think that it's something that it has burst the bubble, okay, and market crash, but it did not. Okay, COVID actually it created a more bubble like situation. Like a lot of banks, they opened their treasury and they distributed helicopter money just to avoid what the damage COVID is going to do. Okay, and it was something which the bull run of US, it was going on, and the COVID forcefully stopped that bull market in between. But as I said, the bull market only ends in euphoria. Okay, so it did not end and again it started back to the path it stopped. Okay, where it was reverted. Again, it started there the journey where it stopped. Okay, so what happened with the COVID? 10% of world GDP liquidity was induced. Okay, now if I distribute money, lakhs, crores of money to everyone. Okay, so somewhere that money has to go. Either that money will be there in the bank account, either the people will use it and buy mobiles and they will cars, or they will buy shares, they will buy FD. I mean, where somewhere that money has to go. Okay, so the assets price is going to increase for sure. Okay, so it will settle down in the assets which is more attractive. So that's the reason why there is a increase in all the assets classes prices. Okay, so this, if you see this after 2018, see, and latest 12 months, what the asset size has grown. Okay, the fiscal stimulus is equivalent to World War level 2 because of COVID. This is all US. So if you see Germany, Italy, Japan, they have given the most stimulus. Okay, blue one is basically uh, uh, revenue and expenditure, and loan and guarantee. What India did, most of the loans and guaranteed. They didn't distribute the money, but US blue ones are mostly based on the money they have distributed. Okay. Uh, okay. So monetary response. The rates were interest rate were reduced. Okay. So when you reduce the interest rate, all the home loans, all the lendings become so cheap that people get. So what is happening right now? People are buying homes. Okay, so if you see the paper, I think last week, Godrej Property sold 400 crores of worth of flat in just one day. Okay, so why it was possible? Because interest rates are down. People are buying car. People are buying different assets on loan. Why? Because the interest rates are down. Okay, so when interest rates are down, it's also helped the corporate to take money to take money on the less interest rate, and then they are able to make more profit out of it. So rate cut was also monetary response was also great after COVID. So this is this we are right now we are in the lowest interest rate of human history. The rates right now has never been before. Okay. Also in India, have you ever heard of 6.5, 6.6 percentage of interest rate in home loans? I have never seen that in last 20 years. Okay, so we are comparatively very cheaper. US, there is a US, Japan, there are many places there are zero to negative interest rate. Okay, so this has also helped asset price to go up. Okay, so this is very important slide. I'll spend some time over here. So if you see 2001, there was a liquidity pumped in, which was like money supply grew by 10%. Okay, and fiscal deficit also got increased by 3.8%. So when there was a huge liquidity pumped in 2001, there was a bubble of technology bubble. Okay, after that there was a bull market of six years. Okay, so we know that our index went from 3,000 to 21,000. Okay, and when there was a euphoria, there was a burst. That has to happen. There is some way or the other it will happen. There is no way out of it. So then there was a burst, and then again monetary supply was increased, so liquidity was injected. Okay, so 9.4% of money supply growth was there, and fiscal deficit was again increased. So then a market cap went from 2009 it was 32 trillion to 2020 90 trillion. Okay. Now again there was a problem with COVID, so it went down. The market cap went down, and then there was a money supply which has been never done before. Okay, so asset price has again gone up to uh, the market cap has gone up to 103 trillion. Okay, now this will keep going. It's not that it's going to end soon. We'll see in further slides what could be the impact. So when there is a liquidity, okay, the asset price has to go up because people are going to invest that money somewhere. Okay. Uh, yeah. So now we are coming to Indian context. I'll check and I'll see that there are many messages over here. Uh, okay. So audio is okay. Fine. Okay. So now Indian context. Uh, so Indian market cap also has gone up. Okay, and as compared to GDP, so the Buffett indicator is showing a red line over here also. I'll tell you in detail why I don't see it's a red indicator, but it's all time high. We have never been to 40 plus of P. P and the market cap is more than 100. Market cap we have been more than 100, but P is all time high. Okay, so I'll get back to you that the reason why it is. So 1 year forward P is also very high, as I spoke in the previous slide. We are at highest P. Okay, so P for people who don't understand, it's a price per earning. Okay, so for example, some share is trading at 100 rupees. Okay, and the earning per share is also 100 rupees. So PE would be 100 upon 100. That is one. Okay, so 1 year. So PE one is uh, it is 1 year. The price is 1 year of the earning. If suppose P is 100, so technically it means that 100 years of your earnings has been discounted. So the price of the stock is discounted to 100 years of earning. Okay. So in basic terms, I am telling you. So P is of Nifty is a 40 plus. So it's like 40 years of earnings of Nifty has been discounted. So this is very high. Okay. But I'll tell you why it is high. So this is the most important slide to understand whether we are in a bubble or where we are. Okay, so the past three bubbles we have seen, one was Harshad Mehta scam, tech bubble, and global financial crisis 2007. So if you compare it, okay, it is market cap to GDP. I'll explain you now why market cap to GDP is very high, because the GDP has shrunk. Okay, so when the denominator shrunk, automatically the value will increase. Okay, so market cap has gone up, but not that high. But the denominator has gone down. That our GDP has contracted because of COVID. Okay, that's the reason why market cap has gone up. Similar case with price. Price is somewhat little bit increased, but again earning has gone down. Earning of a company has gone down. Why? Because of the lockdown. Okay, so again the PE has PE has increased to 100 and 100% of market cap to GDP, and PE is 39. It's in red. Okay, but look at the other variables. Okay, corporate profit to GDP. So if you see when there is a bull run, or maybe when there is a bubble, one of the characteristics of a bubble is that you should be running at high corporate profit. Okay, so bull always start when there is a lot of pessimism. Okay, when the pessimism is at peak. But bubble start when the bubble is formed, and market start crashing when there is a peak in optimism. Optimism is at peak. Okay, so people, when the company is doing a huge profit, everywhere there is a good news. Newspaper, there is a good news. 5 years returns are very good. Look at 5 year returns when Harshad Mehta time, 740%. Look at 5 year return at global financial, 500%. And look at last 5 years returns is just 97%. People who are investor in last 5-7 years, I'm sure they would have frustrated before COVID. Okay, before COVID, everybody was frustrated that no mutual fund is not giving any returns. Okay, so it's just last 8 to 10 months they have started making money. So is it bubble creates so early? No, I don't think so. Bubble is not created just by 5-10 months. Okay, bubble takes time to create. So that's what I mean. There was, if you see last 5 years return, when actually bubble got created and burst, it was a 500% and 740% when there was a Harshad Mehta scam and GFC. Last 5 years CAGR return, annualized return was 53% when there was a Harshad Mehta scam, 43% when there was a global financing scam. Tech bubble it was the data looks good for tech bubble because there was only problem bubble in technology. So the data is for all the shares here, so it is not showing that red, but technology was under red. Okay, so right now, see, there was only 14% CAGR return of last 5 years. So can we consider this as a bubble? I don't think so. I have never seen bubble to get created so early. Return of equity. Look at return of equity, Harshad Mehta, 18%. Global financial crisis, 27%. Right now, it is just 10%. Okay. So even if we have gone doubles post COVID, this data doesn't suggest we are in bubble. Okay. So if you see this peak, when actually bubble gets created, when there is a peak economic cycle. Okay. Our economy is at peak. Our earnings are at peak. Our valuations are at peak. So right now valuations are peaking, but none of the others valuations are peaking there because PE is looking very high. Other than fundraisings are peak. So we have started. There are a lot of IPOs coming out. So fundraising has started, but it's not at peak. Peak leverage. So leverage is also in a future slide. I'll show you. We are at the lowest point of leverage. So company has not leveraged at yet. So when all the conditions are met, then actually bubble is created, and then there is a uh, time to get out of market. But again, that also doesn't make, so everything is according to the theory, but still you cannot predict the bubble when it will crash. Okay, it's close to impossible. So this is how the cycles go. First liquidity cycle comes. We'll compare this with the current scenario. Did the liquidity cycle come? Yes. When there was a COVID, everybody, all the banks opened their treasury. Okay. They were giving loans. Interest rate were low. They were giving loans to SME. They were even in US they were giving helicopter money, helicopter check. So liquidity cycle was there. Okay. Then came market cycle. So yes, market cycle also started turning. Market we saw the very good returns in the market. Okay. So if you see, this is happening, market started going up. Okay. And then the earning cycles will come. Okay. So earning cycle has just started. It's not that we are peak of earning cycle. Earning cycle has just started. So if you see, the last quarter result was very good. I am expecting we are going to get very good results in April, May quarter, April and July, August. Okay. And of course, next year also, Jan. So then earning cycle will start because they have got the money. They are spending it. They are creating a capex, and then they'll start earning out of it. So earning cycle will start, and then economic cycle will start. So entire economy will be at boom. Okay. So this takes few years, like 4 years, 3 years, 4 years. So it's not that big कोविड में पैसा बांटा and then bubble is created. ऐसा नहीं होता. Okay. So to be able to understand what is a bubble, when are we at peak? Okay. So these are the features. Okay. What are the features? Economy is strong. So we'll compare whether right now are we in a similar situation or not. Economy is strong. Reports are positive since few years. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. Economy was not strong. अभी तक तो we were seeing all the negative news, and still we are still seeing negative news about the COVID and all. Okay. Earning beat expectations is many quarters. No, earnings has started beating expectation from last one quarter only. Okay, it's just started. So this is not second is also not checked. Media is full of good news. No, media is not full of good news. Everyone around is confident, optimistic, and greedy. No, not everyone around is optimistic. We got 45% people who are saying that we are in bull. So that means they are not confident. Okay. People are ready to take risk. People are not ready to take risk. I'm meeting people who have been asked questions about to sell in the market. People are selling it. I'll show you data again. I mean, ahead, that whether people are investing or they are pulling out. Defaults are few. Defaults we are seeing few defaults, so it's not that few. Skepticism is low. No, skepticism is high. Euphoria is everywhere. There is no euphoria. Okay, people are scared. Okay, difficult to imagine things going wrong. Again, I mean, the people are very scared. People are saying that COVID cases are increasing, lockdown, and also they are skeptical. Okay, so again, COVID created a lot of opportunity uh, out of it. So I'll cover this in the next slide. So there was huge liquidity which was pumped in into the equity market of emerging market. So India is one of the emerging market. So if you'll see the liquidity, what it flowed to India was around, so it was highest. Okay. It was one of the highest liquidity of FIS investment which came to India. So there has to be some reason out of why it came, why we got the largest share, one of the largest shares in global liquidity. It's not that they were distributing money blindly to everyone. Okay. So there was a reason why it came to India. So why India getting special treatment? There is our economy has started doing good. Our entrepreneurships they have been doing very good. I mean, they have got so many setbacks in last 5, 7 years, 10 years. Okay, India is very difficult place to work. There is no doubt about it. India has got 57 to 60,000 of compliance. Okay, out of 60,000 compliance, 8,000 to 10,000 compliance, you get the business owners can be jailed. Okay, so one of the worst place to do business, India, and still they are doing good. So they have so people who have survived in this country. Okay, they are one of the best businessmen, I can say. If we give them a better place to work, they will definitely excel. Okay, so economic cleanup. So COVID was one of the reason where government was forced to act, and so if you see last month, 8 to 10,000 complaints were cut. There was a land reform. There are labor reforms. There are a lot of reforms which has already been done, and this has to be done because of the COVID. Okay, the government were pushed in corners. They have to do it, otherwise our country will be in danger. Okay, so RBI monetary policy has also changed. If you see this budget, Nirmala Sitharaman said they won't worry about the physical deficit. They will spend money. Okay, so it was a very bold and very important statement that government is going to spend. So for an economy to survive, there are three pillars of economy: is a customer, a customer like us, government and corporate. Okay, individuals like us. So either individual has to spend, government has to spend, or the corporate has to spend. A corporate don't have money to spend, individuals don't have money to spend. So who is going to spend? If government is not going to spend, then their economy is going to be in very dangerous situation. Okay, so government went ahead and said we are not going to worry about our rating, whatever ratings this rating agency has to give. We will borrow money and we will spend like anything in infrastructure. So this was very bold statement. That was the reason why market liked it, and we saw a huge jump in Nifty market returns after the budget speech. Okay, so government was put into corners, and you see that governments are spending a lot in infrastructure to generate a lot of jobs and growth. So India was very attractive valued because last 5, 7 years returns are close to nothing. Okay, so credit growth has been very bad since last so many years. If you see this, so credit growth is very important for a country to grow, for a corporate to grow. So if there are less, credit growth is declining, that means we are one of the worst phase of the corporate is going to do bad, because if they don't get credit, they are not going to do capex, and they are not going to generate job, and they are going to the balance sheet is going to deteriorate. Okay, so credit growth has been declining. That shows why this data is that we've been having very bad times, bad 5, 7 years. So are we in bubble? I think no. We need, if you see this 2010, see how it was credit growth. It was going up, but now it is down. So we have to be in the peak of credit growth to actually be in bubble. But right now we are not. We are credit growth is at the bottom. Okay, NPA cycles is improving. Okay, so NPA, we just peaked out NPA cycle in 2018, and it is improving. Okay, so this is a positive sign. Public capex, look at the capex. So what is one of the feature of a bull in a bubble? When there is a lot of capex which has already gone. All the industries are running at 100% of their capacity. Okay,
So,
but we are not at that stage. We are so if you see that FY19 capex of public sector where it was, and look at now, what are the capex plan? What does capex mean? Capacity of expansion. Okay, so the government, their industries are putting money in their factory to increase the production. Okay, why would they spend money to increase the production? Because they think that there will be higher demand, there is a growth. Okay, so these are the capex plan for future. So are we in a peak of capex? No, because it's peak of capex is going to come in future. So these are the PLI production link scheme. Okay, this was announced by government. This is a game changer. I don't know lot many people. I mean, there was this PLI scheme was not that marketed well, and it was not many people know that PLI scheme. Okay, so PLI scheme is production link incentive. Government is basically giving incentives to the industry to put new factories. Okay, they are giving some cash incentives. So if you see, there are a lot of incentives have been given to mobile manufacturer. Now it has been to pharma companies, chemical companies. So their profitability is going to increase a lot because they will get they will get a lot of subsidies. Okay, so at the moment, India manufacturing in India is the lowest in the world, one of the lowest in the world. I think for sure lowest in China, lowest from China. China wages has gone up, but Indian tax is also lesser than China, and the wages is less, and government incentives are also they given to Indian to and manufacture in India. Okay, the problem with India is that there is a lot of issues with compliance, land reform, land problems, labor laws. These these are the problems in India, but that has been compensated by the cheaper investments. Okay, so looking at this option, there are a lot of companies have been set up in India. If you see Apple and all, they have come to India. They have started manufacturing in India. Okay, so these are the total PLI 120 billions of capex planned by private sectors. Okay, for next 4 years, 120 billions of capacity expansion will be done for next 4 years, and you can imagine the amount of jobs will be created, the amount of growth we'll have in India. I mean, it's going to be one of the best time in coming future. That's the probability. It's not that definitely it will happen, but this has been planned. Okay. So this is a property price. So a property affordability ratio. If you see, we are almost as a situation where we are last 20 years we are at the best situation to take a home loan and buy a property. Okay, the property has never been affordable that cheap. Okay, right now what it is. So this doesn't mean that we will have a bull run in the property and asset class, property asset class. There are a lot of unsold properties which was there lying in like 5, 7 years. They might be able to sell it. So, but the demand will be there in future. I cannot guarantee that. I mean, I'm not sure about it. That we'll have to check. So interest rate is at lowest 4.4%, cheapest ever. Okay, so interest rate has never been so cheap to buy a property, and you see a lot of people are already taking benefit, and there are also state government, they are giving waiving of property taxes and all different taxes. uh, so that is, so this is, buying a property has been very lucrative at this point of time. Okay, okay, so Nifty 500 profitability is, if you see, it is very low. It's one of the lowest. Okay, so to be on bubble, what has to be, it has to be on peak. So if you see 2007, it is peak. 2008, it is peak. Profitability is at peak, but we are at bottom. When there is a bubble, everything is good, then there is a bubble. all everywhere there is a good, the company will do good profit. There will be huge lot of jobs available in the market. Newspaper will be everything will be positive. That is actually the peak. But right now we are in the worst phase of the Nifty profitability. So are we? So can we say that we are at peak? I mean I won't bet on it. Okay. See, return of equity. Return of equities, you see, 2007 there was a bubble. It was peak. Okay. Where we are right now, we are at the bottom. So are we on the bubble? Data says so. No. So if you see that FY07, see how fast the Nifty EPS went up. Okay. The Nifty earnings went up so fast. But right now, see, if we are at FY27, what is the situation? We are almost flat. Okay. From last 6-7 years, the earning per share of the Nifty companies has not gone up. They are just flat. Okay. They are just marginally up and down. So are we? So can we say that we are in a bubble? No. Again, no. Okay. So earning upgrade. We have started, just as I said, last quarter is what was the only quarter where the earnings have beaten the estimate. Otherwise, from last 5-7 years, earning we have never been able to beat. So analysts give some earning upgrade, and the Nifty is to disappoint. Okay, this is the first time last quarter that we have beaten the analyst earning update. Okay, so this is a good sign. So not something that suggests we are in bubble. Nifty returns have been pedestrian. So if you see, look at 2007, where it is. See, Nifty earnings, they were growing like anything. But look at now, last 5 years, 7 years, it's been like nothing at all. Okay. So again, this data shows we are in bubble? No. Now see, so euphoria, I'll show you very important. Yeah, so this is very important chart. Okay, not chart, but the graph, I would say. So this is very important. So to understand how you can see that there is a bubble. So always public comes when there is a bubble. Okay, so public comes at peak and sell at bottom. So more than 90% of public, they don't make, they just make lesser than FD returns. Okay, most of the returns are made by institutional investor and smart people. I would say I was in a public when in 2007 where I entered in the peak and I sold at bottom. So I had my learning in last bubble, and this time I was just sitting tight. I know that what is going to happen. I was just sitting tight. I'm not going to make this mistake again. So what happens is, like when there is a 2000 March crash, smart money, they came in immediately, like Rakesh Jhunjhunwala and all. They have invested heavily at April. Okay, and then institutional investors started investing in May, June, July. Okay, and there was a crash also. Then as soon as the market started going up, public sold it, all the shares. Okay, so you will ask me what is the proof? This is the data. See, from July till December, all the mutual fund data, you say last 6 months, they have been negative. And I've been meeting so many new clients, they have sold everything. Okay. So can we say we are in euphoria? No, euphoria comes only when there is a public investors investing with greed. When the majority of people are investing, that is where there is a euphoria. Okay, so are the majority of investors investing? No, this data doesn't show. Okay, so this, can we say we are in bull market? We are in the euphoria phase? No. Bull market, yes. Bubble market? No. No bubble, no euphoria. Looking at this, okay. Okay, so this is the bottom of cycle. So as I showed you how top of cycle, this is the bottom of cycle. When economy is slowing down, earning is flat or declining. So we had earning flat and declining last 4-5 years. Media report was bad. Yes, media report was bad. People were not ready to take this. Yes, now there are people ready to take this, but not to the extent where bubble requires. Skepticism is high. Yes, skepticism is somewhat high right now. Panic and fear is everywhere. Somewhat panic is there. Everyone assumes things to get worse. Yes, to some extent. So this is the opposite of how this cycle looks, how it works. Okay, enough to rekindle animal spirit. So this is I'm going to tell you what actually has happened. Government in last 5-10 months, the government credit guarantee schemes. So this will give you confidence that what is going to come in future. Okay. So credit guarantee schemes have government launched credit guarantee scheme where they were giving a guarantee to for a bank to give money to SMEs, small corporates. Okay, corporate tax were cut from 35 to 25, and for a new factory, the new industry, it is like 17 approximately. PLI scheme, what we discussed last time. Change in mindset toward capital market. So government used to disinvest using ETFs, but now they are doing a strategic disinvestment, which is good. A lot of people they don't agree. They say that government is selling all their gems and all. Basically, we have been taxpayers have been paying for those losses. What government companies are coming up with losses, so we have to pay from our pocket. So government should not be in the business of business, any business. They should be just running railways, all the utilities, but not any business. So they're what they are thinking right now, I totally agree. They should be getting out of all the businesses. Okay. The mindset has changed. RBI have given enough liquidity, rate transmission, systematic risk avoided. So they have held bank like ILFS and Yes Bank, so that though no one should be, no one individual investor money should be lost. Okay, highest ever forex. We have the highest ever forex, around $600 billion, which has never been in the previous past 20-30 years. Never. Willingness to look through temporary spike in inflation. So they are ready to let inflation go and not increase the interest rate. So RBI always try to control inflation. So little spike in inflation, they just increase the inflation and suck the liquidity out of system. And then when you suck liquidity out of the system, the corporates and everywhere there is a problem with the economy and with the profitability. Okay, so they have not done this time. Okay, India real rates. So yeah, so if you see that, what does it mean? What does it mean by real rate is the lowest? Real rates basically it's inflation minus interest rate. So if you put your money in bank in FD, okay, so your money is going to decline by 2 to 3%. Okay, because inflation is more than your money you are saving, you are earning from the bank. Okay, so India is at lowest. So if you are putting your money in fixed income, okay, so definitely you are going to lose a lot in the world. I mean, India has got the lowest return in the world when it comes to inflation minus interest rate. Okay, so it's not the good place to be in fixed income. Who is like majorly living on the surviving on interest from the bank FD and bank saving. So it's not the good place to be. Uh, so fear into so there was a worst fear lockdown physical Indian market will underperform, but something else happened. Okay, so all the economists everywhere they were predicting that there will be a crash, but something else happened. Okay, yeah, this is very important. So if you compare this with 2003, so there was a 2003 bull market and right now 2021. Okay, we compare it. So if you see, India repo rate was 4.5. Right now it is 4.0. So better than 2003. India and environment conducive to pick up global economy was 2.2. So basically 2.2 was a drop in US Treasury. Okay, right now it's 2.25, more than that. Okay, the global liquidity was 1 trillion approximately. Right now it's 8 trillion. So the liquidity is more than what it used to be in 2003. There was a deficit of 2 to 4%, but we are surplus at this moment. So there was a fiscal deficit of 9.3 combined fiscal deficit. Right now it is 12.5. It is a little higher. That 1 point is negative. US physical deficit was plus 2 for minus, so little negative on this two front. But if overall, if we compare the data, we are in a better scenario what we used to be in 2003. Okay, so compare it. 2003, the index went 7 times. Okay, when that scenario was there, we are in better scenario right. Okay, but I'm not saying that we will go 7 times, and I'm not saying that Nifty will go to 1 lakh. Okay, so it's just a probability. I'm saying that how a probability of market going up and against market going down. Okay, there have been lot of reforms done recently. There was no reforms back 2003. I mean, not that to level of what is right now. Okay, so these are the data. So yeah, so is there going to be a crash? Is the counterproductive? So it is very counterproductive to look for crash. Okay, so to make money in equity market, you have to be optimist. Okay, so if you are pessimist, it is very difficult to make money. I have seen people who have sold everything in March just before the crash. There are few friends of mine who has just sold everything just before the crash, but they couldn't come back in the market, and they bought the market even costlier than what it when they sold it. So they sold it at 12,000, 11,500 Nifty, but they are again get back into the market when there was 14 because they were very pessimistic. कुछ नहीं होने वाला है, सब गिरने वाला है. But market doesn't work that way. When there is a lot of pessimism ना तभी वो market ऊपर जाता है. When there is a lot of optimism ना तभी market नीचे जाता है. So just looking at what is happening around and what is there in the newspaper, it doesn't make you a better investor. Okay. So if you see there that between 2003 and 2007, 8, there was so many crash, like 33% crash in 4 months. Okay, there was a 9% crash, there was a 12% crash, there was 13% crash, there was 30% crash. So these many crashes were there. These many corrections were there when the Nifty went from 3,000 to 21,000. Okay, when it actually crashed for 65% approximately. Okay, so there were so many crashes in the between. So it's not that it will the market will go in straight line. So market went to recently market went to 15,500, then there, it went down to 14,500. The people started, अरे ये तो हो गया, अब तो market गया. It doesn't work that way. Okay, it will only the real crash, the final crash, which is impossible to predict, will only come when there will be euphoria, and euphoria at the peak. Okay, but that peak is very impossible to predict. But right now there is no euphoria. So there can be a crash when something like some event which we don't know. I mean, there China can attack us. Okay, then there can be a crash. But this event be predicted? No. So can we sit outside the market just for an event, something which we don't know? I don't think so. It's a good idea. Okay, sitting out of market and just because अरे something कुछ बुरा हो जाएगा, तो वो नहीं, ऐसा नहीं चलता है. You will miss the most major bull market ever is going to happen. Okay, so it is very important. You have to be optimistic and cognizant of the fact what is happening in the around. Okay, just because there was a 1,000 point decline in Nifty and you just run away, sell and run away, that is now not how it works. Okay, and if you fear for 500, 100 point crash in the market, so I would better say you shouldn't be in the equity market. Okay, you equity में पैसा कमाने के लिए जिगर चाहिए. And the most difficult to make money is in equity market. That's also I can say. सबसे difficult है पैसा बनाने को equity market में. So conclusion, while there are pockets in bubbles in US market, yes, I agree. To my analysis also, there are bubble in US market, but in pockets. Like Tesla बता दिया, जैसे कि बिटकॉइन हो गया, एसपैक हो गया. Yes, there are bubble, but वो भी कब फटेगा कोई नहीं बोल सकता. हो सकता है फटने से पहले और 5 गुना हो. ठीक है. तो so yes, there is a risk in US. तो अगर US market में crash आता है तो अपने इधर पे भी आएगा. But that we cannot predict. Indian market is definitely, as per me, I'm not suggesting you also think that way, but as per the data what I have shown you, we are not in a bubble phase. Okay, there is a long runway ahead of us. Okay, and if you understand this data and if you keep this data in your mind, okay, you will not worry about the small crashes. Okay, so it's very important that you you keep everything in your mind, what I have shown right now. So India, there is a great wealth creation opportunity from 3 to 5 years. As I believe, yes, it is. There are opportunity is very high, but there will be a risk. There will be hiccup. There will be 20-30% crash. Possibly हो सकता है. Correction, not crash. Correction हो सकता है बीच में. So if you fear that, so if you feel that you are not able to sleep at night, if there is a crash, then you get out of equity or maybe get yourself allocated that much where you can have you shouldn't have a sleepless night. Okay. So economic expansion phase is right in the beginning. So we are just start of economic expansion. Okay, based on data. So India is witnessing the birth of new bull market. So I feel that it's a birth of new bull market, but as I said, no one can predict it. So whatever I'm saying, take it as a pinch of salt. Okay. So this is my understanding. This is my inference from the data. Okay. You may have other inference, but this is what I think. Okay. This is my conviction. I'll stick to this narratives. Okay. So struggling economy. So COVID exacerbated situation, point of maximum pessimism है, extreme cheap valuations है, growth supportive है, RBI growth supportive, government of India है, recovery is faster than expected, earning upgrades होने वाला है, and new market will be born. Okay, and it has already born. Okay, so this here it ends. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll run again one poll. Okay. Okay, now after this data, now I just want to see whether what I have shown you, was there any impact on anyone? Okay, so let's see. मेरा इतना कुछ बताना सक्सेसफुल हुआ कि नहीं, let's see. Okay, so I'll end my poll in another 10-15 seconds. There are 7-8 people still left. Anyone else? कुछ भी जो लगता है वोट करो, मतलब don't waste your opportunity. ठीक है, so I'm going to end poll now. Okay, so I'll share the result. So yes, I think 45% were there before. He's saying ki bubble hai and it has come down to 14%. So I think 30%, 30-odd%, I can take credit of कि मैंने हाँ लोगों को बताया कि भाई there is not a bubble in the market. So this is my inference also, and you are open to your own inference. The data I gave you, there is nothing that I want to force my view on that, but this is what we feel. Okay, so yeah, so open for Q&A. If someone want to ask any questions, then you can ask.
No question, Darshan and Kirti. Basically, This is one of the pre-side market research and in-depth comparison. I must say is one of the best and could encourage people to invest. Well done, guys. Yeah. Well done. This is good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
so that I won't take that credit again. Before start of the presentation, this presentation I've taken from ValleyQuest company name, and the person name is Ravi Dharamshi. So I've taken that. So yeah, I mean I will take a credit of finding the best data in presenting to you.
Correct. But linking them together, basically linking all the dots together. That's important there. Yeah.
Hey Darshan, I have got one question for you. You briefly talked about the government willingness to sell the PSU sector areas. Would you please throw light on what how the PSU equities will do in future? What are the your views on that?
So I'll give you an example. I think Hindustan Zinc was sold in 2003 or 4 to Sterlite company, the Agarwals. Okay, so I think government was holding 70 to 75% when Hindustan Zinc was sold, and value of that, the entire value of the government holding when they were holding 75%, and they're right now I think 10-20% they hold. It's much larger than when they were holding 75%. Okay, so so I would say when they will sell this PSUs, the valuation is going to be like multi. They are going to be a multi-bagger. Okay, so government is right now holding 75%. When they will hold 10%, the value of that 10% will be much more than what they are holding 75%. Okay, so government is not, shouldn't be in the business. They are not. They are the not the right allocators. They are not the right decision makers. Okay, they are just burning cash. They are just burning our shareholders' money. So I am in a view that they should be selling all the and basically will our GDP will also will flourish when they will sell this. Okay, so definitely a very positive, and that's the reason why all the PSUs are running. They are running very fast. Just after this, they will be running. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, sure, Darshan. Thank you.
Hey, Darshan, Sandeep here.
Yeah.
Hey, first of all, thanks for presenting this data. It's wonderful presentation, and a lot of data you have presented.
Yeah.
My one question is that US government has declared $1 trillion package, right? So what do you think? What
Yeah. PLI.
government or India market?
So it's going to be very good. That's what I'm saying. I'll Neelkant Mishra is. I would say I was just hearing his interview. Neelkant Mishra is a very good. Is work for BNP Paribas, and he's heading the emerging market businesses. So in one presentation, he was telling me the PLI scheme has been working so well that one company, I didn't name the company, they were, since there was a problem with container and importing mobiles and mobiles related accessories from China, they were shipping it from the plane. Okay. So this has never happened. I mean, he was saying they were just, they could afford the mobiles and all parts manufacturing from China from the plane. They didn't wanted to waste an opportunity in PLI schemes. Okay. So what he was telling, he was giving an example like what if this industries will get this if from PLI scheme, what will happen is they will get a lot of incentives. So the investment, so the manufacturing will become very cheap. तो लेबर तो ऑलरेडी चीप है इंडिया में, बेटर देन चाइना. एंड पीएलआई स्कीम में क्या होता है कि दे विल गिव सम सब्सिडीज. तो समझ लो कि अगर 100 रुपए का मैं इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहा हूँ तो 4-5 रुपए का सब्सिडी मुझे मिल जाएगा. और टैक्स वी आर एट द लोएस्ट, तो 15% टैक्स, 17%. टैक्स इज लोएस्ट इन द वर्ल्ड, labor is lowest in the world, and you are over and above, they are getting 4-5% subsidies to invest. ठीक है. तो what else you need? I mean, मतलब और China plus one strategy है. So everybody, all the big players in the world, they have to go, even if India is costlier. India में problems है, they want to have some manufacturing unit in India just because of China plus one policy. Okay. So there was the requirement for people to get out of China, and government has presented all the benefits to them. Okay, so I think it's going to be very, very positive. मैं तो मेरे हिसाब से तो biggest bull market is ahead of us. Okay. But again, I cannot be
indication, Darshan, in typically in IT, right, technology. There's more of offshoring is happening because of China. A lot of businesses are getting diverted to India, right? So that is happening.
Yes.
But overall industry as well, I believe this same trend will follow.
Yes, and I was speaking to my cousin who is also in this call right now. She stays very close to this Adani port, and she was saying last week is that she has never seen such activity in the port. And if you see the Adani port, it has gone double. The share price has gone double, triple. I think so, double. तो the kind of activities happening in Adani Port has never been before. तो इतना exports बढ़ गया है अपना, ठीक है. So ये सब चीजें अभी नहीं पता चलेगी, ये सब चीजें इंडिविजुअल इन्वेस्टर्स को बाद में पता चलती है जब ऑलरेडी मार्केट में प्राइसेस में बढ़ जाता है, ठीक है. तो it is very important for me. If I am like sitting tight right now. I'm not going to sell my investment. Okay. So I don't want to get out of market very early. So you have to be appropriately invested in equity. That's my suggestion. It's not that कि 100 रुपया है तो 100 का 100 डाल दिया, but something where you don't get a sleepless night. But also not that कि भाई 5-10% डाला है and you're just sitting out of the market. So ये मेरा suggestions है. Any other question? I hope I answered.
Yeah, Darshan, yeah.
Any other question?
Hi Darshan, Madan here. So Darshan,
Madan.
Do you think that this is the right time to create a long-term portfolio?
Yes.
What I understand from all this discussion.
Yes. And even if market is so highly valued, जो दिख रहा है, so don't invest everything in one day. You just create a tranches. Okay, so market थोड़ा बहुत गिर भी सकता है यहाँ से because of COVID cases are increasing. But I was going through one of the meeting with Prashant Jain, who is a CIO of HDFC. So उसके presentation में एक देखा है very interesting point I'll like to share. The value of a company is determined by future cash flows. Okay, so future cash flows को discount करके you create an intrinsic value of a company, of a business. Okay, तो वो क्या बोलता है कि अगर एक साल कंपनी बंद हो गया, okay, so not talking about the company जिसका एक साल बंद होने से कंपनी बंद हो जाए. They are not talking about that kind of company. The company kind of company who can survive for years, a big company. Okay, तो उनका जो प्राइस में इम्पैक्ट है ना 5 से 10% से ज्यादा नहीं. Okay, so some shares which is 100 rupees, अगर एक 6 महीना साल भर बंद भी रहा ना उसका, तो उसका इम्पैक्ट इज ऑन अ प्राइस शुड बी 5 to 10%. दैट्स इट. तो अपन और कोविड में कितना डाउन हो गया 50%, 40%. So that was irrational. Okay. So don't
Hello.
worry. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Tell me.
I am Bhatia from Satara.
Yeah.
Sir.
Tell me.
Sir, can you mention some sector, in which sector it will be run, bull run?
To be honest, it is not my expertise, but what I've been so again, take this advice as a pinch of salt. But I mean, I'm not an expert, but I'll tell you what the logic behind what I have read in the book. When there is a economic bull, जब bull run होता है, जब economic activity expand होती है, so there is always a bull market in a sector which is closely connected to the economy. Okay, so what is closely connected to the economy is infrastructure, ठीक है, machineries, cements, okay, roadway में बन जो खर्चा होता है, मतलब जो चीज इकोनॉमी में जो इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी एक्सपेंड होता है, तो जो चीजें होती, स्टील हो गया. Okay, so these are the metals, these are the things where there will also this अपना banking भी चाहिए. So these are the sectors which as per logic should be benefited a lot. Okay, तो यहाँ से ये सब चीजों में बुल रन होना चाहिए. And the sectors which are defensive like IT हो गया, like अपना consumer हो गया, HUL, हिंदुस्तान लीवर, fast moving consumer, ये लोगों को से एक्सपेक्टेशन कम रखना चाहिए, because this thing works when there is a downturn in the economy. तो जब मार्केट गिरता है, इकोनॉमिक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है, तो सब पीपल बाय कंज्यूमर ओरिएंटेड बुक. क्योंकि वाई पीपल बाय हिंदुस्तान लीवर? क्योंकि अगर इकोनॉमी में कुछ भी हो, जॉब्स भी जाएगा, कुछ भी होगा, लोग टूथपेस्ट तो करेगा यूज. ओके, so people are, there will not be much impact on the sales of these companies, okay, consumer companies. तब जब इकोनॉमिक डाउनटर्न होता है तब उधर जाता है. लेकिन जब इकोनॉमिक अपटर्न है, तो people move out of this FMCGs, consumer goods, and then move into some infrastructure related and something which is very attached to the economy. This is I'm talking about my general knowledge के हिसाब से, but I'm not expert, okay, in this.
Thank you.
I hope I answered you. Any other question? Hello. Any other question? Okay, so wait for 10 more seconds and I'll close.
Hey Darshan,
or-
this is Rishikesh.
Yeah.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think long term is fine, but now looking at see whatever latest happened, say in last 2-3 weeks, overall for this year, how do you see it? Means should we invest long, or this is the time, or how it will be? I am talking in terms of say 1 to 2 years.
देखो 1 to 2 years में I mean normally don't suggest to be in equity. Okay. So 1-2 साल के लिए, because you can never predict 1-2 short term में क्या होने वाला. It is impossible to predict. So if you are in a horizon, you are keeping a horizon of 1 to 2 years. I mean, I have not put my money for 1 to 2 years. मतलब मेरे को जो पैसे 2 साल बाद लगते हैं ना, that I have put everything in my debt fund and I am sitting on cash. Okay. So never ever invest in equity for 1 to 2 years, because anything can happen. और वॉरेन बफेट क्या बोलता है ना कि अगर 1% चांस है, if something happens and you are screwed up, you shouldn't take that risk. Okay. So I would say that for 1-2 years, you shouldn't take the risk of to being in equity. Yes, if you say, and if you are ready to take a loss of 30-40%, then I won't say क्या आपको कर सकते. But if you are not willing to take any risk, any loss, then I would say no. Okay. Long term ही रखने का view, तभी equity मैंने कहा, and I would say 7 to 10 years minimum.
Okay.
Okay. However, I am quite bullish for 2-3 years. Still, I won't put my money. Still, I won't bet.
Okay.
Okay. Because I cannot predict short term, but long term I can predict. Long term also I cannot predict, but long term predictability is the chances of going right is very high. I mean, even I cannot predict the long term. I will be foolish to say that.
Okay. Thanks.
Hello, Darshan. This is Chandan.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello, Darshan. Hello, Darshan. This is Chandan.
Yeah. Chandan, I can hear you.
See, as you said, the market is opening up, correct? But the thing is, the steel price has increased more than 30%, 30 to 40%, and fuel price is increasing. How it will impact on the market?
So steel prices are increasing, so it is going to impact. It's going to benefit the steel companies. तो मैं वही बोला ना कि जैसे कि steel price
it will benefit the steel companies, but will adversely affect the end users. No, it means the customers, like automobiles and all these things. The price will get increased.
So that is one of the feature of a bull market. When there is a bull market, inflation goes up. Okay. So steel price is one of the main reason of steel prices. There are also a supply side issue. So it's not that the steel price is only increasing because of the demand. There is also a supply side issue, which I think should settle down for some time. बहुत सारा export का issues है, बहुत सारा imports का issues है, and then again ये अभी Suez Canal का issue आ गया था. So there are a lot of disruptions in transporting and all. Iron ore transport नहीं हो रहा है, वहाँ China से कुछ चीजें नहीं आ पा रही है. There are a lot of issues. So that's why this commodities price has gone up. Okay, it should settle down. It should not go the kind of inflation which it has done right now. अभी जो हो रहा है, but again, I mean, consumer को impact हो रहा है, but this has been a feature of a bull market. Okay, so inflation तो बढ़ता ही है. Okay, and
that
consumer
means,
will
according
money.
to you, but that means according to you, it won't affect the market, okay? Equity market or something.
Equity market will over a long term, as I showed you the data, it's going to benefit a lot. Okay, so the inflation should settle down. ऐसा नहीं है कि ऊपर जाता जाएगा. Inflation should settle down. Whatever government and whatever everything planned up, it should play out. थोड़ा risk तो रहता ही है. ठीक है, not happening what is expected. तो हो सकता है कि जो something which was planned 1 year वो 2 साल 3 साल लग जाए. That risk is always there. That's the reason why I cannot be 100% sure, and we cannot invest all our 100% in equity. Okay, so we have to be a calculative investor.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? So I hope I have answered everyone, and I'll be stopping this meeting. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Darshan.
Thanks. Bye.